Ahoy mateys, my name is Nautical Nathan. Welcome to the Saturday vlog. I really like the feedback that I got on the last video, so I thought I would do another video. We have two topics today. The first, I'm going to tell you about when I got caught stealing stuff, and the second is the topic provided by the Classy Gamers, and you'll see what that is to come. But first, I wanted to address something with YouTube's algorithm changing. I felt like I needed to address this. So one thing that has changed is I started doing the question of the day. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm doing that for just to rank up higher in YouTube's algorithm. It was actually sort of a big coincidence that I started doing that the same day that the algorithm changed, and it happened to get a ton of comments that particular day, and I felt really bad because I'm like, I don't want you to think that I'm just using you to try to rank higher. I'm really not. What it is I really do want to learn more about you, and I hope that you can learn more about me, and it kind of builds a relationship between us. With that being said, there is another question of the day today, but I promise it is only for me to learn more about you. So let me tell you about the story about when I got caught stealing stuff. So during college, the university that I went to has a particular pastime, I'll call it that we enjoy doing. This particular pastime is called chipping. So there was a Frito-Lay distribution factory near the university that I went to. So every so often, I think every Thursday is the best day to go, because that's when they throw out the chips from the last week. Whenever chips go, whenever their expiration date hits, they throw these chips away because they can't sell them in stores, and they also can't give them to people, which is really unfortunate, to be honest. It's not technically illegal to steal things from a dumpster that someone is not planning on using anymore. I think the technical term is a tort of property. The only real crime we committed was trespassing, and don't tell that to your friends or the police. Please don't arrest me. And if you do, I'll give you the names of everybody else that's also done it, which is the whole university just about. So you go late at night and you dress all in dark clothing because it's dark outside, obviously. You park a little bit a ways away, so that way, you know, they don't suspect it's your car. You like sneak up to the fence, and it is pitch black for the most part. You can kind of just walk up. You don't have to sneak. So you get to the fence, you look up, and it's all barbed wire. So what you do is you grab a blanket and you drape the blanket over the barbed wire, and then you can climb the barbed wire, and depending on the trees that are right behind, you can kind of use the limbs to help climb over. At that point, you're trespassing, so you're already legal, but this is when you're like, oh gosh, I'm gonna get caught. It's not, I mean, they didn't really have no trespassing signs, so maybe they wanted trespassers, they wanted you to come take their chips because they couldn't just give them away, I don't know. So you jump the fence and you go to the dumpster and you bring trash bags with you, and you fill trash bags. And if you think I'm kidding, there was one point in time where we got at least 10 trash bags. I think I counted up that they threw out over $500 worth of chips, and we collected $500 worth of chips. We distributed that among our entire floor and our friends and, you know, the girls around campus, because we did not have co-ed dorms. After you fill the trash bags up, yep, you get out and you sprint away. Like, you're like, I got my chips, I'm happy, I'm gonna go eat my chips. So this particular time, we were taking one of our friends, he's actually been on the channel before, his name is Zach, he was in the Whisper Challenge, and we did Rocket League together. So we went chipping, and he was kind of scared, and he's dressed in all army fatigue, so he looks really decked out. So I'm like, all right, Zach, if you get over there and you see somebody, and him and I were both going over, and you always leave 50% of the people on either side of the fence, so that way when you throw the chip bags over, that way they can retrieve them for you. I was like, all right, Zach, if you hear anything, just give me a whistle, some specific whistle that I would have recognized at the time. So I look in the dumpster, and it is filled to the brim with bags of chips, all different kinds, and it looked absolutely delicious. So I'm stuffing trash bags. So we threw 2 trash bags over at this point, and I'm filling trash bag, and I look over, and I don't see Zach. And that makes me a little bit worried, because I'm like, what happened to Zach? I just saw him, and I didn't hear anything. Like, he didn't give me the whistle. I'm like, what the heck? And then from behind me, I hear,
what are you doing?
So I turn around, and I just see a silhouette carrying 2 trash bags towards the dumpster, and my eyes, oh God. It was like a horror game come to life. I knew that he saw me. So the next thing I did was really stupid. I decided to run around the back of the dumpster and hide. He knew I was there. Or I'm sitting down behind the dumpster, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm gonna die. Tonight's the night I die. Tonight's the night I die. Oh God, I'm done. And I'm like, wait, he saw me. There's no reason to hide back here. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe just go talk to him and it'll be okay. Maybe he won't kill me. So I get up, turn around and walk out, and oh, I'm shaking at this point, and I'm like, oh, who is this? I don't know who this guy is. Does he even work here? Like, is he a security guard? I have no idea. So I'm like, hey, you know, we're just some college kids trying to get some chips, you know? I tried to say it as fluently as I could, but I know I sounded very awkward at that moment. I knew it had to have been bad. And at this point, I knew that all of my friends were hiding, and I was the only one standing there. It was me and this guy out in a parking lot at about midnight on a cold Thursday in fall. So I'm just standing there waiting for him to reply, and I'm just standing there as he walks up closer and closer, and he goes, I do it every night, man. That's cool. So my response was, my jaw just kind of dropped, because at this point I'm like, I'm still terribly nervous, but this guy just showed me he's an awesome guy. So I ended up having like a really small conversation. Like, so he said he would just go and grab like bags of chips and just eat them on a shift, like no big deal. And I shook his hand, and his name was Randy, or at least that's his name that I'm giving you. I don't actually remember at that point. At least that's what I told everybody if I forgot. And he kind of like looked back behind the dumpster, because I don't know if he saw Zach or he saw our friends that were out behind the fence. And he's like, hey, good luck tonight. Get a bunch of chips. And he just walked back. So that may have been the night that we got those 10 bags of chips, because at that point we're like, this guy's cool with it. We just jumped in the dumpster and just like started filling these bags. It was one of the most real life terrifying moments of my life. And yet it's been like one of the greatest stories that I get to tell as well. So thank you, Randy, for that story. So this part of the vlog is for Ryan and Ben, the classic gamers, and everybody else out watching, obviously. But what they asked is, they said I should do a topic where I just find places that look like body parts and talk about them. I think this spawned because I live in Michigan, in the United States. In Michigan, oh gosh, I don't know if that's gonna come out right. It's one of these two, depending on which way my camera flips, but it looks like a mitten, and we just call it a hand, and like, this is what we use. We're like, hey, we live, yeah, that should be right. We're like, hey, we live at this part of Michigan, or we live up here, over here in the thumb. That's what we use. Like, we have a map on hand, literally on hand all time. We got talking about that, and I think this is what spawned the topic. I scoured the internet to try to find an article that talked about this topic, states or countries that looked like body parts, and could not find absolutely anything. So what I did is I decided to go to Google Earth and find them myself. I made a decently long list of that. I got a few for you. I'm gonna start. You already know Michigan's a hand, and if Michigan's a hand, you should know that Ohio is the armpit. We Michiganders are not super fond of Ohio. I don't know why. It was just something that I was raised with, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna embrace it. So sorry anybody from Ohio, but that's you. Let's take a look at California here. All right, we got California. Now, doesn't California kind of look like a bent knee? Like if you chop it off at, I'm looking down at my thigh. If you chop it off between the thigh and like some mid-calf area, it kind of looks like a bent leg that has like really nasty road rash, like running up and down. And speaking of road rash, never look up a picture of a horse without a hoof, because that's disgusting, and that's the image I got imprinted on my mind thanks to the internet. Don't look it up. Please don't look it up. Next, we'll go to Somalia, that's what I found next. It kind of looked, to me, it kind of looked like a flexing arm. At least it did on Google Earth. I don't know when it's flat, maybe it doesn't, but like when it has kind of that contour that Google Earth seems to give it, it kind of did. I do want to point out that the Isle of Man does not look like a man. So you guys are just lying to yourselves if you think otherwise. We have to talk about Italy. Obviously, Italy kind of looks like a hooker boot, like a thigh high. Everyone calls it the boot or a foot. I call them hooker boots because that's like the easiest thing for me to think of when I think of that. So no offense to anybody if you wear those. They probably actually look cool. I haven't really experienced them in my life. I want your opinion on this one. Here is a picture. So this is India. And I thought it kind of looked like a big giant nose. If you tilt it, obviously you can't go north and south. So you tilt it a little bit, and it kind of looks like a giant nose, which would lead me to believe that Sri Lanka, right? Yeah, Sri Lanka is just kind of like a booger or like mucus that's coming out of this giant nose. Sorry if you're from there. That's just what it looked like to me, like scrolling through Google Earth. I realized at this point that I had been only doing outside body parts, and what really matters is on the inside, right? That being said, the closest representation I could find of a stomach was Mongolia. Maybe if you smoothed it out around the outside, maybe it would look more so. That's what I like. That's gotta look like a stomach, right? It kind of does, right? Taiwan is a kidney. Greenland, definitely a lung. Louisiana, also a foot. At least I've always thought about that. Oh, and I forgot to mention Florida, which kind of looks like something I don't mention on this channel. I did try to look all over the world. I didn't really find much for South America. If you're from South America and you're offended, I'm sorry that you don't have any countries that look like body parts. Maybe you could get some. If you think there are any places that I've missed, tell me. Put it in the comments below. That'd be great. So those are the things that I wanted to talk about today. The question of the day, in your country, what is the equivalent of Christmas? I mean, you could say Christmas. I know that I have people that watch from Canada, some people from Central America. Wherever you watch from, let me know if you celebrate Christmas or you celebrate a different holiday. So if you haven't commented below, feel free to comment now. And if you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do that now as well. And guys, I'll let you know if you want to pick next week's topic, feel free to comment it in the comments below. I always appreciate it, and it gives me something fun to do during the week. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. If you like this video, I want you to jump on a boat and crash that boat right in the like button. And remember to always keep smiling. And I will see you in the next video. God bless. See ya!